Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello, still active in the short term, but we'll have some storms tapering off through the evening hours, with most of the accumulating rainfall being done by, say, midnight for much of the region. Then more minimal showers Thursday and Friday that have a harder time measuring more than a couple hundredths of an inch, if that. In general, much cooler days ahead. Thursday starting a stretch of below average temperatures that takes us through the weekend. In the short term, there is still a marginal risk for some storms to be capable of some large hail and gusty winds. We're on the backside of this cold front going into Thursday. High pressure tries to build into the area going into Friday, but we have another cold front swinging in from the north competing with the high. So 7 p.m. will at this time still have lines of showers and storms that'll be progressing eastward, maybe capable of some heavier rainfall at times as well as some hail and winds. But by midnight, most of that clears out with a few showers lingering here and there on Thursday to Friday that, again, don't bring much in terms of actual accumulation. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. Plan for it to be a little cooler, below average temperatures still if you're traveling towards Chicago or New York, but we have those milder areas above average near Orlando, consistently in the 90s into Saturday. Panhandle forecast, settling into the cooler air with lows from 39 to 43 from New Cumberland to Pine Grove, and highs only in the mid-50s, closer to what our low temperatures have been recently. Looking east near Charlestown for some mid-40s tonight, then topping off around 63 towards west here. You're dipping into some low 50s for high temperatures. We'll see 40 for Elkins with some scattered showers and storms here. Ripley drying out, being further to the west this evening. We'll see highs in the mid-50s to mid-60s there. Meanwhile, 40 in Marlinton, 48 Williamson, and another spread here of about 54 to 64. Charleston about 10 degrees below average Thursday and Friday with a few showers. Back in the 70s next week with more rain.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, three,
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw. Bill McKenzie hits a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline Wednesday night. Good evening. Welcome inside the Health Plan Studios. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. Kyle Wiggs, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe. We're all here, and good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
We've got a lot to get into tonight. We're scheduled to be joined by the newest member, one of the new members of the rebuilt WVU women's basketball roster, Alexis Bordas from Wheeling Park High School by way of Duquesne University. She played her freshman year at Duquesne, now transferring to WVU. So we're scheduled to be joined by Alexis. We've got news today, no Mountaineer baseball game. We were hoping to do a bit of a game line with the baseball game going on at Penn State, but it was rained out. Of course, it rained pretty much all day here in Morgantown, off and on, but that has moved out towards that area. I know it rained in the Eastern Panhandle all day. I'm sure it's rained up there in central Pennsylvania as well. So bottom line, no West Virginia Penn State baseball game. So the Mountaineer baseball team down to its final 10 games of the regular season. The 3 with Kansas State this weekend, non-conference game against Marshall and Charleston next week, and then the 3 games at Kansas and 3 at home against TCU. That's it. Then it's on to the Big 12 tournament.
Feels like every year that Penn State midweek game gets rained out, doesn't it? I know it's only been a couple times, but it literally feels like every time you try and schedule that thing,
Two
gets
of the
canceled.
three, there were 3 games scheduled with Penn State, and 2 of the 3 this year got rained out.
Actually, guys, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. Number one, their RPI is such that it would not have helped you if you win, and it would have been a tough blow if you lose. And given West Virginia's pitching depth right now with the injuries, probably not bad to get an extra day of rest here as you head into the weekend.
Yeah, you're right, especially as you come down the stretch of this season. I do think at Cincinnati, some of that team looked a little bit fatigued, especially the pitching side of things in some of those losses to the Bearcats. So help them get a little rest. And we saw Steve Sabins, you guys were down the field with him at PNC Park the other day. So I'm sure he's taking advantage of the opportunity to do a little fundamental work.
The thing is about that, they had such a brutal week last week with the Pitt loss and then losing. They won at Cincinnati on Friday, lost on Saturday, then had the tough game on Sunday where they blew the lead. Baseball is the type of game as you want to get back out there. So there's
except this time of year when your arms. I mean, that's the issue. I mean, I know what you're saying. Normally that's the case, and you're used to playing, and you get in the rhythm of playing. But I do think, given the pitching depth right now, it's probably worth getting some time. Not having to go into a game tonight and throw multiple guys up there. Just let them sit and rest and bring your full arsenal out this weekend.
So Kansas State got swept by Kansas last weekend, so they'll kind of limp into town, and that's a series you absolutely have to win. Obviously, you want to sweep, but, man, 2 out of 3 at a minimum is imperative, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, important for West Virginia to close strong. And, again, I don't know what their NCAA future holds. I mean, they certainly are very much an NCAA tournament team right now, but exactly what their seed line is. But, finish strong in these last 10 games and take what you can get.
You're still sitting at a 2 seed here.
Yeah.
I mean, the conversation around this team feels like it's like, oh, woe is us and everybody's losing. You're still sitting as a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Say that 4 years ago, and where would you have been? This team still has a lot of things in front of it. It's got to get some wins. You're right, Kyle. But it's still got a lot to go here down the stretch, including that series against Kansas in a head-to-head showdown with 2 of the top 3 teams in this league.
And an opportunity to play in front of a huge, enthusiastic crowd again down in Charleston. They had the huge crowd in Maryland, in Frederick, for the non-conference game, Hagerstown against Penn State. And there's going to be a gigantic crowd down in Charleston for that midweek game. Hopefully the weather will allow it to be played. But that's always a fabulous, the Southern West Virginia fans turn out in great numbers for their one opportunity to see the Mountaineer baseball team. So that'll be a good one. All right, also today, Mountaineer men's golf team, a little bit of a disappointing finish in the Big 12 tournament. They played pretty well yesterday, but today could not really carry that momentum. So they finish the Big 12 Golf Championships in Hutchinson, Kansas. They finish in 15th place, 5 shots ahead of Colorado, who finished in 48th place. So among the individuals, you had Westy McCabe finished 37th overall. Caleb Wilson, even par for the last 3 rounds. He was on the show last week. He finished tied for 46th. Ryan Leach finished in there as well. And Jack Michael. So West Virginia again finishing in 15th place at the Big 12 tournament. Oklahoma State won it. Their conference record 13th golf championship. And the first back-to-back winners since 2021. So the Cowboys led wire to wire. They win the Big 12 Conference Championship. They finished 10 under collectively, 8 shots ahead of Arizona, who finished second, 9 shots ahead of TCU, who finished third. Texas Tech was fourth. Then you had Kansas, Utah, Baylor, and BYU tied for seventh. Arizona State, UCF, Iowa State, Kansas State, Cincinnati, Houston, the Mountaineers, and Colorado. So there you go. That's the Big 12 tournament. A little bit of a disappointment after how well West Virginia played in its own invitational right before this event, but still a team that feels pretty solid about getting into the NCAA.
Well, you mentioned Caleb being on the show. He talked about how difficult that course is and how the winds can be challenging, and certainly that's not where West Virginia wanted to finish in this. You know they were hoping for a little bit higher finish, but they had vaulted so far up in the RPI after the tournament here, the Mountaineer Invitational, they felt like they were in pretty good shape for the NCAA tournament. Certainly now you're worried a little bit about that, but let's see where the latest RPI rankings come out there. If West Virginia's sitting still in the 50 range, they should feel pretty good about getting into this NCAA tournament. So let's hope that's the case.
You were reading through that list. I mean, and we talked about it so much before the Mountaineer Invitational, but this league is so good in golf. Every one of those teams seemingly you talked about is rated in the NCAA top 25. And, I mean, it's the historical side of things. I mean, Oklahoma State brings its own charter plane in for tournaments. I mean, when you can do things like that for golf, you put those resources into it, they can be really good.
They may take that sport more seriously than they do any other.
Yeah.
And wrestling might be second.
Yeah, I was going to say wrestling's up there.
Yeah, but it's not what golf is. I mean, golf is a whole different deal out there, the way they treat that. But to your point, Greg, Colorado, who finishes last in this event, they're 48th nationally.
Yeah.
So that's a top 50 team that finishes last in this tournament. And again, West Virginia was right in there from an RPI standpoint. Arizona State's 10th in the country, and they finish, what, in this tournament? 9th? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th in the tournament. Yeah, that might be the best league in this league, which has a bunch of great sports in it. Mm-hmm. Golf might be the most difficult league in this Big 12.
Yeah, because they'll win national championships out of this too. I mean, Oklahoma State is, I don't know if they're the favorite in this thing, but they're certainly a major contender.
Well, 5th nationally, defending national champs, right? Texas Tech 6th, Arizona 20th. TCU 36, Utah 34, Kansas 38. I mean, it's littered with teams. BYU 23, Arizona State 10.
I hate to admit my memory is bad. Who won the Mountaineer Invitational? It was not Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah, it was Oklahoma State.
Okay, because they came from behind. They weren't ahead after the first round or two.
304 Talk 304, that's the text line. Baseball from this afternoon. Another big day for Chase DeLauder. The Cleveland Guardians had 2 hits, went 2 for 3. And drove in 2 runs as the Guardians beat Tampa Bay by a final of 3-1. DeLauder had a 2-run single in the 5th inning that increased that lead to 3-0, and Tampa got its run in the 7th, and final score 3-1. So DeLauder on the year, 18 RBI on the season, batting .257, got off to that tremendous start, and uses Country Roads as his walk-up song.
That should be our next trip. We're now a Major League Baseball show here. We're well-versed in Major League clubhouses on this program. And that's our next move is head over to Cleveland and check a game out with DeLauder. It is.
You work on that one.
Okay, we could do that. We could get if we could get 2 for 1. If we could get Gansey on and do a show from the Guardians, that would be that would make it well worth it.
If we knew we have good weather, we set up right in the location between the
they're 10 feet apart.
Yeah, and there's that giant area right in the middle. Go into the baseball game, get it, and go see Gansey after.
All right, let's do it. Let's figure that out. Let's plan it. 304 Talk 304. That is the text line. That's the news from today. We did get a couple of texts yesterday. Said, "Hey, how about Sorsby?" That happened Monday. We haven't discussed it at all. So I'm sure, Brad, you have some thoughts, and we can get into that a little bit later on in the program. Also, it looks like the NCAA tournament, we did talk about this briefly last night, the NCAA tournament for men's and women's, the number targeted being 76, and it appears that they would expand that opening round. You talk about the first 4. Mm-hmm. They would expand that opening round for additional games and add a second site, perhaps, which would make it probably a little bit more geographically advantageous from the teams coming from the western part of the country, not have to come all the way to Dayton, Ohio. So it looks like that is on the fast track for men's and women's basketball expansion to 76 teams.
Yeah, I might be the lone person. I don't know that I've heard one person speaking on air that says they're behind this. I don't really have a big opposition to this. It's not a ton more teams. It's 8 more teams get in. That certainly would have helped West Virginia in 1 year, maybe 2 years. I'm one of those guys. It's the greatest sporting event in the country right now. Give me more games in it. And if those are playing games on Tuesday, that's great. That's fine. I'd love to watch more games and see those teams. And so I don't necessarily have a problem with this route. I do think it will help teams in leagues like the Big 12. I think some of those teams that are in that 500 mark in conference play in the bigger conferences probably benefit more than anybody else. So I'm okay with this. I don't have a huge opposition, but I know I'm in the minority there.
I know you're a data-driven guy. Here's some data for you in terms of, we know 2 years ago West Virginia certainly would have made it if what the field was expanded. It should have made it at 68, but certainly would have at 76. This past year, there were 8 teams in the net ranking that didn't get into the NCAA tournament that were ahead of West Virginia. West Virginia was 9th among those left out in the net ranking. So you'd have been right there very much in discussion with the New Mexicos.
And I still think you get in because,
such.
as you know, they don't go straight by the net. Not everybody gets in. Yeah. So I contend West Virginia would have been in last year. I know there's one projection out there that says they wouldn't have been, but that's an argument for another day. But I think you would have been right in. Again, there haven't been many teams in history that have gone 500 in the Big 12 and not got into the big dance, and that's on the regular field. So I still contend you probably would have been in both years.
304 Talk 304, we are underway. That's the text line. You can join us. We will take a break and return. This is the CityNet statewide sports line. We're inside the Health Plan studio. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan. We are here for you.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sportsline for Wednesday. Thanks for joining us. 304 Talk 304. That is the text line on this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. 304 Talk 304. We've talked a lot of Major League Baseball, a lot of pro baseball. Texter asks, what is the latest on Alek Manoah? Well, he signed with the Angels in the offseason, and as far as I know, he's still on the injured list and has not pitched. Obviously, he's not pitched in the big leagues yet. He's got to work his way back up to that, but he has not made – of course, the minor league seasons are just getting started too, but he has not made a minor league appearance yet in 2026. He's got kind of a long way to go to get back to the big leagues.
I know we all hope he can come back. What an electric rookie season he had that year, right? Was that so much fun? He was dealing. He was the star of the All-Star game. Remember how they had him mic'd up? Mm-hmm. He was so fun to talk to. I hope he gets that arm back in shape and he's able to make a recovery and come back. What an electric year he had.
He was high in the Rookie of the Year voting too, right? When he's like third, fourth.
He was in the Cy Young. He was the finals for the Cy Young too. I mean, it was a magical year for him.
Texter asked where Nico Marchiol landed.
Northwestern.
So what's the quarterback situation there? Has anybody looked into it?
No, I'll admit.
In terms of where he stands on the depth chart, if he's got an opportunity there. 304 Talk 304. There's a little homework for us. We will effort that, look into that tomorrow. All right, 304 Talk 304. That's the text line here. And we're going to try to hook up with Alexis Bordas in just a minute or two. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's take another break. Again, this is the CityNet statewide sports line. Speed is important. Security is essential. CityNet delivers both with high-performance fiber and advanced cybersecurity solutions for your business. Visit citynet.net. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on MetroNews Television.
CityNet Statewide Sportsline, welcome back. It is a Wednesday night. We appreciate you being with us, and we're joined by West Virginia native, Wheeling Park High School graduate Alexis Bordas, who made news this week because she transferred from Duquesne, where she had a great freshman season, to WVU. And Alexis, we appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I know we had a little bit of a difficulty connecting with you, but we're glad we have you now, and good evening to you.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate your time. Well, let's go back a step or two. When did this process begin? The fact that you knew West Virginia was interested in bringing you in, and obviously I would imagine you jumped at the opportunity to play here at your home state institution. So how did all of that happen?
Yeah, so I went into the portal about 19 days ago now. Coach Kellogg had reached out to me the first night that I was in the portal, and we talked for a little bit just about this year and what everything was looking like, and then just continued the process from there. Every few days would talk to me, talk to my parents. I did really go through this process, though, with every school. I had a very open mind. I didn't know from the beginning that I was just going to come to West Virginia. So I had several schools reaching out. I was taking lots of phone calls, going on visits. So it really wasn't that I always knew I was going to West Virginia. So it was definitely very chaotic and overwhelming throughout this process. But obviously, at the end of the day, I chose West Virginia, and I'm super excited about it.
So, Alexis, take it back even a step before that. You had a great freshman year at Duquesne. Was that a difficult decision to enter the portal from there?
Yeah, it was super hard. Probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I really enjoyed my year. I really liked all the people that I was surrounded with. I had great coaches that I built really good relationships with, and all my teammates, I really loved them and loved getting to meet them and become such great friends too. So that really made it difficult to make this decision to enter the portal. But when I made that decision, they were very supportive of me, and that definitely made me feel better.
Yeah, as Greg just mentioned, you did have a fantastic season, picked up right where you left off in high school and carried it right onto the college Division I level. So when you were getting ready to enter the portal, or once you'd entered the portal, what exactly were you looking for? Was it style of play? Was it just fit? What were your top priorities in the next school and ultimately here at West Virginia?
Yeah, I had a few things that I was really looking for that mattered the most. One being the people, the culture that is created in a program, and that was a little bit challenging when looking at some places because there were several girls in the portal from each team that from every team really across the country. So that was challenging to not really know who your teammates are, but to really look at the coaching staff and the type of players that they recruit, the type of people that they are. That tells you enough about culture and the type of team that they're going to create. So looking at that, building those relationships, and then the fit, like you said, the style of play was really important to me to go into a system that I'm going to fit in and my talents are going to exceed and I'm going to be valued in that system. And then winning. I wanted to go to a program that's going to compete at the highest level in the NCAA tournament and win some championships. So WVU checked all those boxes.
You've always been a great three-point shooter, 367 made threes in your high school career, but hitting the shots like you did this year as a freshman, 93s, which was second among freshmen in the entire country. What type of work went into that during the offseason and leading up to the year to improve on that? Because you're being guarded by quicker, more athletic athletes. So what went into improving the three-point shooting to make you as good as you were this year?
Yeah, really just repetition, getting lots of shots up every single day. Obviously, I knew that the three-point line was going to be further back, so even starting my senior year of high school, every time I'd work out, I would shoot from the college line to prepare myself. So really just, dedication, shooting lots of shots. I always say practice makes perfect, so just shooting over and over again every single day. It was actually funny in the summer. I shot so much that my arm started to go numb and I was getting bruises. So I shoot a ton, and that's definitely how I've gotten to where I am today.
So, Alexis, you've seen Mark Kellogg's program in his time here. How do you fit offensively and defensively?
Yeah, I think offensively, obviously my ability to shoot stretches the floor really well for driving lanes for other players. My scoring ability is something that if you can translate at any level. If you can score, you can score. So having that, and then just my toughness, my grit, playing hard, my motor, those are all things that defensively, along with using my IQ, will help me in the defensive system with, lots of pressure. So using angles and just playing hard.
Go back to the shot practice for a second. I'm fascinated by this. What was your system? How many per day? Did you have how many makes? Was it a percentage made? Did you mix in free throws? Because you were nearly a 90% free throw shooter as well. What exactly was the workout each day?
Yeah, so we had a shot challenge actually at Duquesne where we had to make 1,000 shots a week, and I was exceeding that. I was doubling it every week actually. So my goal was 2,000 makes, and that combined threes, mid-range, and free throws. So just, getting lots of shots up. I can't remember the exact breakdown of what percentage was threes, what was mid-range, what was free throws, but we had a certain amount we had to make, and I just doubled that.
Did you have a rebounder? Did you use the gun machine? How'd you do it?
I did a little bit of both. I would say most of the time I usually used the machine, but we have some practice players that were still on campus in the summer, so they would rebound for me some too.
You had a 38-point game against Pitt, so obviously it's not just the threes. You found other ways to score at this level. Describe your game in that regard. What are some other ways that you have the ability to create offense?
Yeah, this year I really had to create my own shot, along with my senior year of high school, more than I had kind of anticipated or had done in the past. So I think that my senior year of high school really prepared me for this year and helped me to get better at creating my own shot to free myself up. Using my mid-range is something that was really big for me, especially as the year went on. Obviously, teams are going to scout and know that I'm a three-point shooter, so trying to run me off the line, so getting to my one-dribble pull-up was something that I found really helped me. And then just using my ability to make shots to get myself to the hole as well, to be able to shot fake and get all the way to the basket as well.
So, Alexis, we're all familiar with your family on both sides, with the not only the Bordases, but the Contreras as well, and the many WVU diplomas that go through those families. So what was the excitement level when you decided to attend the alma mater of so many in those families?
Yeah, I was super excited. My parents were with me when I committed, so they were really excited for me. And then the car ride home was super fun to FaceTime all my siblings, and then my aunts and uncles, my grandparents. Everyone's grown up WVU fans. I grew up watching my uncles play football at West Virginia. My aunt ran track at West Virginia, going to all the games still, even every year. So just being around and having that understanding of how much West Virginia, how special it is, and how all the fans support, everything that goes into that is super special.
How about your schedule? What comes next? When do you arrive down here? What's the next couple of weeks look like for you?
Yeah, so this week I'm finishing up finals at Duquesne. So Friday I'll be finished, and then I'll spend a few weeks at home, and I plan on moving in May 23rd to West Virginia, and our workouts start the first week of June. So have a little bit of time at home to, work out, spend time with my family, and then I'll be in Morgantown.
Did you get shots up today?
Of course, every day.
Every single day. You also led this Duquesne team in steals, too. So how do you feel you fit into the defensive system, and what's the preparation like being, to prepare yourself to play defense in a Mark Kellogg system?
Yeah, he's very well known for his defensive pressure, having lots of athletic guards. So just continuing to work on my speed, agility, quickness, things like that. And then using my strengths, like I said, my angles, my IQ, and just playing hard. I think half the battle on defense is just continuing to play hard, play through fatigue. So just doing all those things while continuing to work to get faster.
My memory, we had you on during the Victory Awards dinner, Travis Jones and I think it was last year. And you said that you weren't going to follow the family, chain of law. So is that still true? Have they convinced you? Because, it's a long, long line of lawyers in your family. Have they changed your mind, or are you still convinced to go somewhere else?
That's actually a funny question that you asked that, because this year my major was health sciences in the pre-med track. So went through this full year with plans to be a doctor, and I actually just changed my major with plans of going to law school. So I have been turned to the other side.
Your mom, your dad, your grandparents, they wouldn't let you do anything else, right?
Yep.
Let's go back and let's talk on the court again for a second. As we mentioned, you just had such a great year this year, so this may be a difficult question to answer, because outside looking in, it doesn't look like you had much trouble adjusting in any area. If you had to pick an area that was the most different going from high school to the college level, what would that have been?
I would say, obviously everyone talks about the physicality of it, and I didn't really notice it in terms of, I didn't really get bumped around or anything like that, but you notice it more after games when you feel more sore than you did in high school, you feel tired, and the recovery process is something that I had to take very seriously, and I always have. Even in high school, I'd get an ice bath after every game, but it's a different level when you're in college and you're on the road every week, so just making sure that I really took care of my body when I was playing a lot of minutes, playing every game, and especially with the defenses I was facing, that was something that was unexpected coming to college. I didn't really think I'd be safeguarded my freshman year. But facing those defenses definitely took more of a toll on my body than I expected. But it also helped me to get better and improve and figure out ways to break free and to create my own shot, like I said. So that was something I didn't really expect, but I will definitely be able to take with me in the future years.
Did teams try and clutch and hold and grab you a lot off the ball?
Yeah, there was actually one game where this girl kept punching me in the stomach, and she was obviously doing it pretty sneakily, and she even apologized at one point. She was like, "I'm sorry, my coach told me I have to do this." And I was I started laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Is that right?
Yeah, always finding ways to guard me, for sure.
Well, I hope you put 25 on her.
Yeah. was that Pitt? Was that the 38-point game?
That was Dayton.
Oh, Dayton. Okay. With this Mountaineer team almost completely rebuilt, there are a couple of the ladies that are back, but have you had a chance to interact at all with some of your new teammates, or is that to be done June 1st when you get here?
No, yeah, they've several of them have messaged me. We've been texting back and forth the last couple of days. Just, on social media, seeing each other's stories, just saying we can't wait to meet each other and work out and start this process. So we've definitely been in touch, talking about where we're living and stuff like that. And I actually know of several of them, not personally, but I played against several of them because we played Pitt, we played George Mason, and we played VCU. So lots of the girls that are on the roster I actually am familiar with. So that's awesome.
So give us a quick little scout on a couple of those that you have faced. What are they like? West Virginia's got a couple from George Mason, a couple from Pitt. They didn't play a ton, so how much you saw them, but give us a scout on those.
Yeah, I don't think either of the girls from Pitt played in the game that we played them. I think they were hurt or something like that, so they didn't play. But in terms of the George Mason girls, Kennedy, super quick, super great point guard, can score and facilitate. Very good defensively. she guarded me when we played them, and she was a very pesky defender. So super excited to play with her. And then Zaza just can score at all three levels. Her mid-range, I compare her to Kevin Durant. It's like automatic, so good for mid-range, and just has that ability to score. And she's also so versatile in who she can defend and all the things she can do. So super excited about that. And then VCU, the girl is just 6'7", like can't teach that. It's great to be able to knock people around and grab rebounds and do all those things.
Well, you're probably wiser to go into law than coaching, but that's a good scouting report breakdown there. Coaching could be in your future.
Right off the top of your head. That was impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Well, in that family, they do both, right? Your mom coached, and she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Your dad's coached. He's a lawyer. You can do both.
Yeah, I would love to follow in their footsteps and do both. I think even going through this recruiting process a second time, I was just thinking I'd love to be a college coach even. So I don't really know where everything's going to take me, but just figuring it out from here and just playing basketball for right now.
That's the good news. You have plenty of time to figure it out.
Right.
That's all you have to worry about is playing. That's right.
Sure.
Well, Alexis, we appreciate your time. Good to catch up with you, and congratulations to you and your family on this decision. And we're looking forward to another great season for the Mountaineers coming up.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks very much. Alexis Bordas there, Wheeling Park graduate, 1 year at Duquesne, 93 pointers, 15.5 points per game. As I mentioned, led the team in steals as well with 48, now headed to WVU.
Yeah, we talked about the other night, 93s, I don't care what you did. You do that in middle school. That's an impressive feat. And you said the second best mark for a freshman in all of college basketball last year. And listen, we've all seen her. She can flat out play, and the ability to walk right in from Wheeling Park and have that kind of effect at Duquesne speaks really highly. Now, it's another jump coming up here to the Big 12, but it's going to be fun to watch her once she gets here in Morgantown and puts that gold and blue on.
The state of West Virginia has turned out some great girls basketball players through its high school ranks over the many years, from Mary Ostrowski, who she won that award 3 times as the high school player of the year. But her name deserves to be on that list somewhere amongst the all-time greats, just seeing what she did at Wheeling Park.
Yeah, winning the award player of the year 3 times. I believe she had a 50-point game as a freshman at Wheeling Park. So, it's a name that we've known. Those of you who follow high school sports, that's a name that you've been familiar with for several years. 304 Talk 304, that's the text line. We'll take a break. We will return. Stay with us. The CityNet statewide sports line continues after this.
The WVU Center for Reproductive Medicine is here to help your family grow. 1 in 8 couples has difficulty getting pregnant or maintaining a pregnancy. Our providers are prepared to offer the best in care and comfort with customized treatment plans. Our state-of-the-art facility on Pineview Drive offers a private and convenient location near Ruby Memorial Hospital. To learn more, visit wvumedicine.org/CRM.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WVMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Some relationships just work better with trust, reliability, and great communication. That's why more West Virginians are choosing CityNet Gig Fiber. Fast, symmetrical speeds, no contracts, no data caps, and local teams monitoring the network around the clock. Plus, for a limited time, new residential customers can get 50% off any internet plan for a full year, with plans starting as low as $25 a month. Check availability at your address. Visit citynet.net today. CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello. Still active in the short term, but we'll have some storms tapering off through the evening hours, with most of the accumulating rainfall being done by, say, midnight for much of the region. Then more minimal showers Thursday and Friday that have a harder time measuring more than a couple hundredths of an inch, if that. In general, much cooler days ahead. Thursday starting a stretch of below average temperatures that takes us through the weekend. In the short term, there is still a marginal risk for some storms to be capable of some large hail and gusty winds. We're on the backside of this cold front going into Thursday. High pressure tries to build into the area going into Friday, but we have another cold front swinging in from the north competing with the high. So 7 p.m. will at this time still have lines of showers and storms that'll be progressing eastward, maybe capable of some heavier rainfall at times as well as some hail and winds. But by midnight, most of that clears out with a few showers lingering here and there on Thursday to Friday that, again, don't bring much in terms of actual accumulation. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. Plan for it to be a little cooler, below average temperatures still if you're traveling towards Chicago or New York, but we have those milder areas above average near Orlando, consistently in the 90s into Saturday. Panhandle forecast, settling into the cooler air with lows from 39 to 43 from New Cumberland to Pine Grove, and highs only in the mid-50s, closer to what our low temperatures have been recently. Looking east near Charlestown for some mid-40s tonight, then topping off around 63 towards west here. You're dipping into some low 50s for high temperatures. We'll see 40 for Elkins with some scattered showers and storms here, rapidly drying out, being further to the west this evening. We'll see highs in the mid-50s to mid-60s there. Meanwhile, 40 in Marlinton, 48 Williamson, and another spread here of about 54 to 64. Charleston about 10 degrees below average Thursday and Friday with a few showers. Back in the 70s next week with more rain.
CityNet statewide Sportsline for a Wednesday, and we're inside the Health Plan Studios. 304 Talk 304. We'll get to some texts in a moment. Tomorrow night, we mentioned the WVU Baseball Big 12 series with Kansas State. They're bringing members of the 1996 team back that went to the NCAA Regionals and played at Clemson. And we're scheduled to be joined by Chris Enix tomorrow night, who will be part of a ceremony, part of a pregame ceremony. He'll throw out the first pitch for that game on Friday. But I've got to iron out some details with Chris, but we anticipate visiting with Chris Enix tomorrow night on that show. What a story that is, the fact that a West Virginia kid from the Northern Panhandle comes here, develops into an All-American, and was the 11th pick in the draft as a junior.
Boy, that was a fun team, wasn't it?
It was.
And talk about, so much the unexpected runs we remember for a long time, and that was certainly one. That was a really good team, but that wasn't like it was what it is now, where you're expecting an NCAA tournament. That was a fantastic team to watch that year.
Yeah, he was a sophomore that year in 96 when they won the Big East Conference tournament, and Scott Siebel was on that team, who went on to the big leagues with the Yankees and the Cardinals. But that was Chris's sophomore year, his breakthrough year. Then he had an incredible junior year and got drafted and went on to play in professional baseball. So if all goes like it should, we'll be joined by Chris Enix coming up tomorrow night, and he'll talk about coming back and celebrating that 96 team with his teammates. 304 Talk 304. Texter asks if Scotty Fox, first of all, he's complimented Brad and Hoppy and Tony on the podcast, 3 guys before the game. Great interview. Says the texter, if Scotty Fox doesn't start, do you think he will get playing time some way?
Good question. I mean, Rich last year was playing 2 when they had 2. They ended up playing 6, but I think there's an opportunity. The one thing I'll say is it depends on how. If your starter's rolling, I don't care if it's Fox or Hawkins, whoever it's in. If they're rolling, you don't change. But If there are opportunities there, I could see it.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, and Rich will talk about this a lot when we get in the summer. He's comfortable with both of those guys, right? I mean, if it ends up being Hawkins as the starter, what a valuable backup Scotty Fox is, a guy that played so well in some games last year, as we outlined in the podcast. And if it's flipped and if Scotty Fox wins the job, you've got some experience coming there, and you've got Hawkins that, as we've said, should be a prototypical fit for a Rich Rod offense. Now, we've got to see how it translates onto the field. We've got to see it from a guy that hasn't been in a starter position over the long haul if it's Hawkins. But I think you're totally comfortable with both of those guys, regardless of who wins the starting job.
All right, Brendan Sorsby. This broke. We were driving up, I believe, in the car when we heard this news, driving up to Pittsburgh on Monday. The fact that the Texas Tech Red Raiders football program announced that Sorsby had an immediate indefinite leave of absence. He was entering a residential treatment program for a gambling addiction. It leaves, at least for now, Texas Tech without a quarterback, someone they paid a great deal of money to bring from Cincinnati. And there's all kinds of layers to the story. When did Cincinnati know this was a problem? And the situation with him at Indiana, there's some indication that maybe a bet or two was placed on the Indiana football team while he was there. Now, this all has to come out in the wash. It all has to be investigated and proven, but this is what is on the table right now.
Well, yeah, given the way online betting is, and I've said this many times on here, a lot of people stand up and scream and holler and say all the problems that exist, and certainly this is one of those cases. And so first and foremost, he's entering treatment trying to get help for what he says is an addiction. So you wish him the best on that side of it. Then you move to where this is for a larger story, but because of sports betting becoming legalized in so many different places, these are the things you can find now because of the online betting. It's not going to the bookie down the street and placing a bet anymore. It's online, and they've got all that information. So you hit it correctly, Kyle. There's a lot of things to come out here. First and foremost, in his situation, was that, in fact, he was betting on college football and his team in particular, because that's an automatic lifetime ban. Mm-hmm. Now, they may try and argue because it's a mental health issue and he's entered rehabilitation that maybe it shouldn't. There should be a lighter sentence. That will be for somebody else to decide down the road. But that's the first part of it. You mentioned Cincinnati may get hung up on this, depending on if this was going on or they were notified last year and then went ahead and played him. They've put themselves in a potential situation. So, yeah, there's a lot of different tentacles to this. And then the third part is, what's that mean for Texas Tech immediately? Now, they are in a pretty good quarterback situation. I know they paid Sorsby a lot of money, and that was a guy that a lot of people are putting him in the Heisman conversation. But you look at their backup quarterback down there, and he's coming off an ACL injury. So depending on his health, Greg, you could argue he might have been their best quarterback last year. Yeah. He went out to Utah and had a tremendous effort against the Utes last year. So they might not be in as bad a shape team-wise as what you think. And ironically, I get what I'm doing here. I'm using a Vegas line to talk about a story that involves gambling. I get it. But their power rating by a lot of these professional bettors hasn't dropped a whole lot, even with Sorsby out of the lineup. Maybe as much as you would think it would, given the headlines around this.
Because it impacts a couple of Big 12 teams, it's even more intriguing for those of us here. Otherwise, it's sort of ancillary story. But I think the Cincinnati thing is something just getting into. I mean, what did the Bearcats know, and when did they know it? Because that ultimately could really slap them with some heavy implications.
Kyle, real quick, Will Hammond is the quarterback I'm referring to that's the backup,
Yeah, but that injury occurred in October, so you have to wonder his status in August.
Yeah, is he ready in August? Maybe not. Is he ready at any point during the season? You have to see. You're right in that time frame there. And there's reports out there that Texas Tech isn't going to stand idly by. They're going to try and make a move here. But again, the portal is technically closed. So what are we doing there with searching around for another quarterback as well?
Well, there's probably still some in there, but are they better than what you have? You've got Hammond. They did add a portal quarterback in Kirk Francis from Tulsa, who started games each of the last 2 seasons, a total of 10. After that, though, it's freshmen. So, again, Will Hammond probably will be a great player, a great quarterback, but will he be healthy enough to start the season? And the thing with Sorsby or any college athletes, as long as they're 21, can bet on sports as long as there's not an NCAA sanctioned championship. In other words, UFC, horse racing, NASCAR, that type of thing.
And if you remember, the NCAA was on the verge. I mean, within a day of passing legislation that would allow legal of age student athletes and athletic department members, quite frankly, because they're banned from betting as well, for betting on professional sports. That was ready to pass. Division II had already agreed to it. Division I was getting ready to pass it. And then the Chauncey Billups federal probe popped up, and everybody panicked in college athletics and pulled that off the table. And that was something that was literally within hours of getting signed off on back, when was that? Last summer? This fall. It was this fall when that came up, yeah. So interesting stories all the way around.
Is interesting. Since we were just in a major league clubhouse the other day, I noticed the signs, and it was because it was right after the Sorsby.
Well, it's right in when you walk in the door.
Yeah, right there. In both Spanish and English, they have no gambling allowed. I mean, big signs right on a board. And that was in the visiting clubhouse that were just, thumbtacked up there. So that's in the pro locker room. I haven't been in a compliance meeting in a long time to know what they preach to college kids, but no excuse. Everybody knows the rule.
And the texter points out that Sorsby wasn't that's a very good point. He faces legal ramifications too. He was not 21 when all of this went down. He just turned 21. So there's that aspect of it too that he will personally have to be accountable for, the fact that he was not 21 placing bets. So, yeah, interesting situation, messy situation for both of those universities, and obviously something we'll follow very, very closely as we move forward. Tomorrow night, Chris Enix, hopefully we'll check him. We'll check in with him. It's been a while since we've heard from him, and is a school administrator up in his native Northern Panhandle. So we'll get into that tomorrow night as well. Again, no Mountaineer baseball game tonight. West Virginia at Penn State rained out. And in case you joined us late, West Virginia in the Big 12 Golf Championships finished 15th. So I'm sure there's a story on that at WVMetroNews.com. All right, guys, great show. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night.
See you, everyone.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. CityNet Statewide Sportsline. We're back again tomorrow.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the Metro News Radio Network. All rights reserved.